I didn't really want to become one. No, somebody that I knew very well was doing a movie, and he just said, "Oh, do you want to be in it? You know, it'd be a laugh." So that's how I kind of got into it. And to be honest, I didn't even know what I was doing. It was just a bit of fun. And then when we actually went out and saw the film, a few people were going, "Oh, you were really good in that. You know, you should be an actor." And I was thinking, well, I'm actually thinking of selling my business, so maybe I'll just sell my business and become an actor. And I know it sounds completely nuts, and it is, but that's kind of how I got into it. And yeah, that was the beginning of my kind of acting and producing quest. Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously, because he was dead, you couldn't really do a lot of research. But I did sort of contact people and meet people and ask them what he was like and all that sort of stuff. But you know, a lot of people that I spoke to, they were all sort of saying, look, you know, he was on steroids, he was on cocaine, he was drinking, he was beating people up, he was just fucking unhinged. So I just thought, well, you know, I'll play that however I can to make it feel that way. And I think a lot of people that saw it did think that, you know, he came across that way. So a lot of people did say, actually, you reminded me of him. Apart from his family, who said obviously that wasn't, you know, him, he wasn't like that at all. He was an angel. He used to help old ladies across the road and things like that. But you know, he's a great guy. Sorry, he was a great guy, because you know he has got and he still has got some amazing friends that speak dearly of him, like Nigel Benn and you know, Carlton Leach and people like that. So obviously he wasn't all bad. But you know, I just, you know, when you get a script, you read it, and you know, you do a bit of research, and then you kind of go, well, how would I play it, and what do I think he'd do? And it's just that it's funny. I mean, I think you kind of get a bit carried away. I mean, there's been a few times when we've been doing stuff and people have been hurt, you know what I mean? But it's not been because we were being, you know, like one in Rise of the Footside, there was a scene where some football hooligans had to run at these other footballers, and they had to like jump over it was like a wall or a little sort of bollard thing in the road, and when one of them went over, he slipped and he actually landed on his wrist and broke his wrist. And if you actually watch the film, you can actually see him, and then he gets back up and carries on going and all that. And I had a phone call saying, oh, you know, one of your mates has done his wrist in, he's fell over and broke his wrist. I thought, oh, for fuck's sake, you know, we're going to have an insurance claim, it's all going to be aggravation. And I rang him up and said, oh, I hear you broke your wrist. He went, yeah. He said, I just want to know, is that going to stay in the film? I went, yeah, of course. And he went, great, he broke my wrist on... You know, so he actually didn't want to claim, he just went, fuck it, it happened. But other people would have made a big thing about it and said, oh, no, my wrist on... You know, so, and then occasionally, you know, if you're doing a fight scene, or someone throws out the window, they might fall wrong, or you might crash a car, you might hit your head on something, but... other than that, you know, you always have like professional stuntmen and women, and everything gets choreographed. I say it a minute. Choreographed. Well, you know what I mean, right? They just basically ensure everybody does things properly, but everybody enjoys it, because normally when you're on the set, everyone's sitting in the room and, you know, you've got to say your lines and then turn it around and you've got to say your lines, and you're going to put it over there and you're going to say your lines again. You spend like half a day just doing the same thing over and over again. And, you know, although it's fun, it's not as exciting as if you're running down the road, throwing people out of windows and shooting people. So, in a way, it's nice to obviously break it up a little bit, but I think it's fun to have, you know, when you're throwing people out of windows or beating people up, or, you know, there's a good scene in Rise of the Foot Soldier where there's a couple of naked women in a limo with me, Craig Fedrice and Roland Manukian. You know, that is a laugh, right? So, you know, you could do that, and you know, for me, that's a perk of the job. You know, you get to sort of surround yourselves with beautiful naked women. I mean, you're not allowed to, you know, touch them or anything, obviously, because it's, you know, you're acting in a professional manner. But you know, there's harder days at the office. Yeah, it's good. I mean, you know, I think that it's very important. You know, because I think as an actor, you know, if you get a part in a movie and you've got to create this relationship, you know, you've got to kind of get to know people. But the good thing is, if you already know them, whether you love them or hate them, if you know them, you've already kind of got a relationship. So when you actually have to work on a relationship with characters, whether you love them or hate them, or and you've got a bit of a rapport with them, and me and Febras, we just did it off and we had a laugh. And I think that's kind of what, when you watch that, everyone goes, "Oh, you look like you were mates for years." But some actors can just do it. They can just create a relationship. But I've just found personally that if you've already got one, then it just makes it a lot easier. I did a training video for the NHS. That was quite good. I actually did, and it was ridiculous. But I don't want to go into that. But there's the three roles, I'd say, in order. I'd say Tony Tucker purely because I played him twice, and a lot of people know me for that, and a lot of people know that film, and it's their favourite film. So I'd say that's my number one, purely because it's everyone else's favourite film. And it was fun doing it because I got to sort of put on a muscle suit, put on a load of weight, go on a sunbed, wear a dodgy wig, and do things that I wouldn't necessarily do. My second favourite was Rolling with the Nines, when I played a bent cop. That was a lot of fun, and that got BAFTA nominated, and I enjoyed that because obviously now we live in a very politically correct world where you can't say certain things, you can't do certain things. But what was nice about that film was there was no boundaries. It was the way it was written was you're playing a corrupt, racist cop that steals drugs and fucking turns people over. And I just think that you can play a nice guy, or you can play the husband or whatever. But for me, I think you have more fun playing the bad guys or the nutters or the people that are corrupt. And then the third thing that I've really enjoyed was Get Lucky, because I got to play with Craig Febras again. We played a couple of sort of hoodlums, but it was more of a comedy. So they're my sort of favourite three. I mean, all the films I've done I've enjoyed. Doghouse was funny, so I got to dress up as a woman, and I went to tranny school. That was a laugh. But I do enjoy. I enjoy all of it. There wasn't any film I've done that I've not enjoyed. But I think if there was a top three, that'd be So Rise of the Foot Soldier, Rolling with the Nines, Get Lucky. I'd like to play Dustin Hoffman's role in Tootsie, if they ever made that. And do you know what? I think a lot of actors beat themselves up if they're not constantly working, and I think a lot of actors always want to be the leading man in Hollywood. But my sort of thing is, I just enjoy being in the business, and I like producing films, I like acting in films, but I suppose if somebody said to me, when you talk about a dream role, do you mean a dream role as in if they remade a film and I could play?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Well, my favourite three movies are The Godfather, Scarface and Goodfellas. And so if you was to say to me what role would I like to play, obviously I'd have to learn an American accent and have some acting lessons, but I think Brando in The Godfather was unbelievable, and I thought De Niro in Goodfellas was unbelievable. I thought Pesci in Goodfellas was unbelievable, and I thought Al Pacino in Scarface was unbelievable. So any of those four roles, in any order, I don't mind. Yeah, there's Saving Santa comes out this Christmas. That's through the Weinstein Company, and that's been sold around the world. That's going to get a big release, a lot of heat, because it's a children's animation, which is exciting. And we've got a film called Plastic. I've only got a small role in that, but I really was producing that. That was my kind of big. It's the biggest budget film we've made, and we produced that, and we're just about to do a deal with Paramount on that. So we've done some. We've gone from doing these little sort of low budget films to sort of bigger budget films with big studios. So we're now sort of moving up the ladder, and they're the forthcoming projects. Then we've got a film that we're putting together about the Shah of Iran with Sir Ben Kingsley, and we're talking to a really famous Oscar-winning writer called Bill Nicholson about writing the script for that. And we've got a couple of we've got Gillian Gilby's next film, 30 Feet of Dust, and we've got the LA job. So we've got a few things, you know, on the horizon. But you know, as always, we've got to get these things done first, and then we move on to those.